You're this perp back with another video, and man, this episode was really dope. But before I get into this review, because we got a lot to talk about, man, a lot to cover in this episode, hopefully I can get through. But before I get into this review, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button. Try to get to 800 subscribers by the end of the year. Hopefully I can get there. If not, there's always next year. Gonna go even harder. Follow me on Twitter at perpminded420. So with all that being said, let's get right into this, shall we? The episode is called A God Walks Into a Bar, and this is where we get a lot more backstory on Angela and Dr. Manhattan. And I loved how they really took their time throughout this episode explaining everything, and things are starting to make more sense. Even more so, everything's starting to come together for an epic conclusion, because we have one more episode left. We don't know if there's a season 2, but anyways, Dr. Manhattan was kind of just drawn to Angela. This is Angela when she was living in Vietnam, and we get a lot more backstory on, those babies that Adrian had at that place he was. That place is called Europa. It's a place that Dr. Manhattan created, and that's where you see all those clones, and those aren't really clones, those are creations of Dr. Manhattan. And I like how Regina King's character, Angela, is not really falling for it, but she's just like enjoying the story, as I am too. As I'm watching this, we get a lot more backstory on John himself, as a kid, before he turns into Dr. Manhattan, and just his upbringing, how his beliefs of the Bible kind of affect what he's doing now, and what drives him. His parents are pretty much his influence on creating life and doing something big. I really like that, really cool little backstory, not too long. Didn't take up too much of the episode, but we now know why those beings look like his parents and whatnot. He made them in his image. So Dr. Manhattan continues to tell Angela and pretty much explain to him what he is, and she thinks he's just a wannabe Dr. Manhattan. So he shows her what he's capable of doing, hence where we get this scene of where Cal comes from. So he pretty much just takes his features, and this is what John it looks like now. Well, now he becomes Cal, and things get more intimate. And as Dr. Manhattan's pretty much explaining to Angela what's going to happen to the future, which I find so fascinating how they're telling this story. He tells her about this fight they're going to have 6 months from now, and he's going to leave. So pretty much, it's kind of hard for her to relate to somebody that can tell the future, and it's kind of bugging her. And he can't help it, because that's just his nature, as he explains. So he goes to Adrian Veidt and pretty much tells him, I need your help. Adrian pretty much tells him, you're looking to be human. And Cal pretty much, or John I should say, tells him, I can help you if you help me. So Adrian said he came up with this device 30 years ago. It's pretty much that ring that you saw at the last episode, that you put in his forehead, and he completely forgets everything and starts becoming more human. His powers kind of become nullified, and just really interesting stuff. And the trade-off is, Dr. Manhattan sends Adrian Veidt to that Europa planet, which I thought was a dope scene and a really emotional scene for Adrian. But I understand now why he wants to escape that place, because now he just kind of is going insane there. it's still not clear, but I'm starting to piece things together slowly in my head. So then we get a scene, another emotional scene of Angela and John talking about, you gotta put this thing in my head, and I'm gonna start forgetting everything as time goes on, and something tragic is going to happen 10 years from now, because this is 2009 at this point. John won't tell her exactly what's going to happen, but this is where we get pulled back into the present time. John's waking up slowly. He doesn't have any recollection of, where he is or what he is. It's starting to slowly come back to him, but he doesn't have full grasp of his powers. That was the kind of trade-off. Explains to Angela that, I went to go see your grandfather. And this is where things get really interesting for me, man, because, he's having a conversation with Angela's grandfather about Judd and why. Then Angela asks John to pretty much ask her grandfather, what is your relationship with Judd? How do you know Judd? And pretty much Will says, I don't know anybody named Judd. And this is the crazy part about it. I think this is all because of Angela, because all Will knows now is there's a dude named Judd, and now Angela thinks this is all her fault for making him aware of Judd. So then, they get ready because John keeps telling Angela that there's people outside, they're going to hurt me, they're going to pretty much kill me, and Angela almost gets herself killed in this whole entire episode, but thank God she didn't. But, it's not looking good for Dr. Manhattan right now, so it's tough to say what's going to happen in the last episode of this season. I really hope that they greenlight season 2, if they already haven't. A dope episode. Things are starting to really all make sense. But what do you guys think in the comments below about this episode? And I will see y'all next week. Peace.